You want to stand out for your PT school application, but how do you do that? Do you use the same strategies that have been said many years ago, or do you use the best practices that are happening today to really help you stay relevant and stand out? So in this video, we're going to talk all about the top strategies to make you have the competitive edge in 2023 and 2024. And yes, we are going there. We're going to talk about COVID. We're going to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion and how you can leverage that. And the top 5 thing, that's the most practical thing that you can take steps on doing today and help you stand out to get accepted into PT school. So let's get into it. Lego. What's up everyone? My name is Dr. Justin Lee, physical therapist. I'm the PT admission expert and I help students get accepted into PT school the first time. So we're going to talk about the top 5 strategies, the best practices that you can implement in 2023 and 24 to really help you stand out. So let's just jump right in. So everything that we're going to talk about today, always keep in mind that you're going to use these experiences and talk about them to boost your application and help you stand out in specifically your essays, both the PT cast and the school specific or supplemental questions when you get there, or your interview, okay? At this point, you have done all your prerequisites and GREs and all those things, so you can't really have any control over that. But you can definitely talk about your personal experiences through your essay and the interview, and that's what we're gonna talk about in these 5 top tips. Number 1, what did you learn about yourself during COVID? Man, COVID has affected everybody in some way, shape, or form, but has it affected you positively, negatively? And whatever, if it was positive or negative, did you learn something from that experience? That's what I want to highlight. During your experience during COVID, did you learn different characteristics, different traits? Did you experience something, whether it was a positive or a negative thing? And can you turn that into being a really good physical therapy applicant? For example, COVID has been really challenging on all of us, but did you adapt to the situation and did you rise to the occasion? Did you have a hard time at first adjusting to the different types of learning styles going online, but were you able to adapt quickly and get good grades throughout that process? On top of that, you realized, whoa, I have a lot more time on my hands. Maybe I can get involved in this, this, and this. So were you adaptable? Next, were you a problem solver? Maybe you realized, hey, I couldn't interact with some of my the members that I was working with, or maybe I can't interact with some of my family members. Let me find a solution to this problem. COVID has brought up so many different problems, and hopefully you were able to come with a solution. And you might think this is a very minuscule, nobody cares about that. But guess what? This shows leadership skills. And we're gonna talk about that in one of the other tips here. But this shows leadership skills. And more than ever, PT schools are looking for students that exemplify leadership. So, all in all, COVID happened. What did you learn from that? If you're having trouble finding out some of your experiences and thinking about what you have done and how you learned from that and how you can leverage that into your PT school application, oh man, you're gonna have to jump to step number 5 because that's exactly how I'm going to be able to help you. Number 1 talked about what you've learned, but number 2, we're talking about experience that you've taken from COVID. During this time, we went all online. So maybe you've learned some experiences on how to handle high workloads under pressure, or learn to adapt to different situations and still do really well. Maybe you learned that, man, the physical, emotional, and psychological stresses that have happened when people get isolated, I've learned that physical therapy can help people get out of that rut, to help people move better, which in turn helps them to be emotionally and psychologically and spiritually better. what experiences during COVID have you gone through, and how can you leverage that into being a really good physical therapy applicant? Okay, number 3, we're gonna talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I guarantee you at some point, some program is gonna ask you some of these questions related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So you have to get familiar with how you're going to approach these questions and how to answer them. Sometimes they're gonna be asked in your supplemental questions. Sometimes they're gonna be asked in your interview. You're welcome, all right? So diversity, equity, and inclusion. I want you to start thinking about how that relates to physical therapy. Some examples can include healthcare disparities, access to healthcare, maybe some language barriers. And these are really big topics that need to be addressed in healthcare, in physical therapy. So, or representation, how about that as well? Where are my Asians at? All that kind of stuff. Where are you with your knowledge on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how does that relate to physical therapy? Some folks are like, man, this is like such a big topic. I don't even want to think about it. But guess what? It's gonna be talked about. And you have to be equipped, and you have to learn how to navigate this question. All right, number 4 on the list, I talked about this earlier in this video, but leadership is more important than ever right now. Physical therapy school is becoming way more saturated. There's a lot of applicants because students want to become physical therapists. Why not? And so you have to stand out in some way, shape, or form. And showing your leadership skills are what's going to really give you the competitive edge. Showing leadership skills are what's going to distinguish you amongst the crowd. So how do you have leadership skills? Now guess what? Every student that I talk to who says, Justin, I don't have leadership skills, and when we're talking one-on-one during our coaching sessions, yeah, I'm telling them and showing them exact what leadership skills that they actually have that they never discovered. During my group coaching sessions, I ask different kinds of questions. I challenge students to think about and reflect on things in their lives, and then they realized, wow, I actually have some leadership skills. So here are some practical things that you can take away from this video about leadership skills. First things first, being a leader means being a leader to at least one person, okay? So that means whether you were a tutor, maybe a sports coach, maybe you were a PT aide and you helped somebody do something. You have an impact to at least one person to help them make a decision. What are leadership skills that you can exemplify in your essay and in your interview? Here are some other examples of some leadership skills that you might be able to think of and write down in your notes. You were able to build a relationship and you were able to help them make an educated decision towards something that they felt uncomfortable with. You have creativity and you're able to create something from nothing. You're able to problem solve, right? And have conflict resolutions amongst some people in your workplace or your friends. Now, these are just some examples of leadership, but really relevant examples if you dig deep down and figure out, even amongst your friends, how have you exemplified leadership? Anything is fair game here. I'm telling you, you have examples of leadership and you might be thinking, that's not good enough. I don't think that's like so stupid. But my friend, that's a leadership skill and you need to highlight that. So you're watching this video and you're thinking, okay, Justin, you have really good points, but I just can't figure out how COVID, diversity, equity, inclusion, and some leadership skills, I can't really think of those things that have happened in my past and how I can use that to talk about in my essays and interviews. I need your help. If you need my help to figure out those things, then this is what step 5 is all about. And these are the practical things that you can start taking right now as you're watching this video. So check this out, I do have a group coaching program available right now, and enrollment is open, registration is open, and this is for students that are applying in the 2023 to 2024 application cycle. My applications and enrollment is open right now, and we are starting on June 5th. As of now, the prices are at its cheapest, but as time goes on and we get closer to June 5th, the prices go up. Now in this cohort, we're gonna talk all about the secrets of the application, exactly what we talked about here to help you figure out how to stand out. Now, if you're not a part of this cohort and in this group coaching program, then you're all on your own. And you might have some ideas, but you might not know what exactly is gonna help you stand out and give you that competitive edge. In my experience, I can teach you all those things, and I really have a high success rate of helping students get accepted into physical therapy school the first time. This is why I do this. I help students to get in, feel confident, and really live the rest of their lives as a physical therapist, impacting people and having control over their life. So if you're interested in that, I do have a link in the description on how to sign up for my group coaching program. This is called PT Application Bootcamp. Woo! Secondly, if you're starting out and you're not gonna apply this year, but you're thinking of applying next year or the following years, I have an online course that you can get yourself with right now. This is an introductory course where if you're thinking about applying to PT school in the next year or two, you can start implementing things right now to give you a head start and help you stand out. Students who have taken this course got into high-level PT programs like USC and all these different schools, and I really recommend, if you're not applying this year but you're thinking of applying in the next couple years, definitely check that course out. I'll put that link in the description as well. So these are the top strategies. Do any of these resonate with you? I'd love to hear in the comments, and if you have some struggles or questions, leave them in the comments below so I know what type of content that I need to make to help you get accepted into physical therapy school the first time. Alright y'all, I hope this video was helpful. Please leave me some feedback, some love, some comments, some likes. I'd love to hear from you and connect with you. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.